I'm James Wright. I'm the new Cabinet Member for the Environment and Rural Affairs at Horsham District Council, and in my role the most important thing that we're going to be focusing on in the next 60 days is our push to net zero. So the climate emergency that we declared at the Council 2 years ago, we are 18 months into our first action plan, and we've already seen an incredible reduction in carbon emissions and officers fully taking on board the idea of not only the way they work but also the services that we procure as a council, how we factor in environmental emissions into that and give it equal weighting to the other factors in our procurement. In the next 60 days we're going to publish our net zero strategy for the next 3 years, which is going to involve things like replacing insulation in many of our buildings that we own, energy savings in some of the houses that we use as temporary accommodation, and then other larger projects as well, like how do we decarbonise our fleet of heavy goods vehicles. And we do this all with the support of the community and organisations like Sussex Green Living, and I just thank everyone for all of their volunteers and their support for everything they do. The council only accounts for a small percentage of the emissions of the district, about 2 or 3%. So even if we hit our target of net zero by 2030, which we're pushing towards, and that's entirely our goal, there's this huge challenge of how do we decarbonise all of the villages, our towns, how do individuals and businesses start to think about how they can reduce their emissions. And these are incredibly complex issues as we emerge from the pandemic. And that's one of the things we're going to be exploring next year with the community, about how we work with and facilitate decarbonisation of the district, so everyone can come along that journey of decarbonisation. And it's not only about carbon emissions, it's also about biodiversity. How do we reverse the biodiversity loss across the district? And I'm very proud as the Cabinet Member for the Environment to have the Wilder Horsham District project, which is a 5-year project which hopefully will run for longer, of how we then how we increase biodiversity in our fields, how we link up reservoirs like Knepp with other reservoirs like the council has a farm on the edge of Horsham called Chepsworth. How do we link Knepp and Chepsworth together so that we have this corridor of nature? There are incredible things that we can do, and working with the community and landowners and organisations like this is exactly what we're looking to do.